Live from Panama City, Florida. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding you to love life, and trade it. What's going on, folks? We got some folks in the house. Hello, folks. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. Let me get this changed. Got three things pulling up. All right, perfect. Just gonna load that and then get this document pulled up. Fantastic. All right. Let's rock and roll. We don't have a lot to talk about today on the broader markets, at least the SPY, the Qs, the IWM. Pretty flat. I mean, today's afternoon, so we did the afternoon day trading room from noon to 2 when I did it. There was nothing going on. We didn't take one singular day trade. There wasn't a lot happening. So, and this is kind of sums up why. So the SPY was an inside day range. And usually inside day ranges, I can kind of show you the last ones, but here was one and here was one. Those are the last ones really, as an inside day range. So it doesn't happen super often. Here was one right there on the SPY. But when they do occur, right, usually the stock will break in one direction or another pretty soon. So it was an inside day range today, meaning today's open, high, low, and close was within the high and low of yesterday's candle. So on the SPY, we'll see, right? If we break down tomorrow, I'll probably be expecting just a little bit of a bearish move. But again, down into the 50, I'll be looking to buy the dip, probably with a spread of some kind, more than likely. But regardless, there's not much going on in the SPY. So here's the weekly chart. Weekly chart's also an inside week so far. So we're consolidating. We're hanging out. We're doing our thing. That's really about it. Here's the Qs. And the Qs, now this is also a weekly chart on the Qs. It is so far a new white soldier on the Qs, meaning on a weekly chart, we're making a higher high and a higher low. So this candle will end Friday. Dean has a put sale for 137, expiring on the 30th of June. Today's candle, interesting, a little bit of a resistance right here. That's kind of where we paused at, but I'm excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow could be a fun day in the morning day trading room, because I'll be looking for this stock or this ETF or all that kind of stuff to continue to break up higher and continue to move. So that's the Qs. Here's the Dow Jones ETF. Here's the daily chart of that. So this white candle gapping up, filling this gap pretty nicely on the Dow. It is a retest gap, and we are retesting. So we'll see and find out if that pulls back and bounces. But the Dow Jones, just doing its thing. And then today, Transportational Thursday. Here's the IYT. The IYT, this is again on, let me go to a weekly chart. So a weekly chart, we're just kind of hanging out. Got this interesting double bottom pattern looking thing right there. And we kind of close with a neckline, and we're kind of retesting right now. So I don't see anything on the indices that are too shocking or weird or strange. The IWM, the Russell today, again, very, very small candle, very small range. Here's your long-term moving averages, and the long-term moving averages on the IWM. Sorry, I'm trying to pull those up. Why isn't that not loading? Am I still here? Let me try to type. Yes, I'm still here. That's weird. That's not loading. Huh. Why can I change my template? Sorry, I get distracted so easy. Squirrel. So it just allows me to look at the moving averages. I wonder why that is. What if I do something like this? Strange. Do I have something locked? Oh, I did. I did have it locked. Stay in drawing mode. No. I have no idea. That's strange. I can't change the templates. Oh, well. There we go. Finally happened. That's weird. No big deal. Long as we're not gone. Anyway, sorry. IWM, as you guys know, I just want to pull back a little bit farther. I want to get into some kind of bull put spread below the 200 simple when premium is a little bit better. That's kind of my thoughts on the broader market. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints? Linderman says, I'm still seeing the DIA. Maybe things are lagging a little bit. Let me try to come back over here. Can you guys see the IWM now? Drake says, maybe I need to reel, but I think it might be you or me. I don't think it's you guys. No, you guys don't see that. Okay. Still have the Dow Jones ETF. Okay. Give me a second. Something's weird somewhere. What about now? IWM? Nope. Really? Huh. What did I do? It's a blank black screen. Why is that? You guys got Baba now? You can see Baba? Okay, cool. Let's see if this works. I don't know what's happening, but at least once a month, the technology gods go, no, Jeremy, we're going to make sure that you don't do this. All right, cool. Well, hey, as long as you can start seeing it, hopefully this recording works. That's what I'm hoping. It's all good. Everything's good. All right, folks. Well, here's what we're going to look at today. Got a few stocks we're going to look at also. I wrote a few down that we're going to look at today as well that were not on the list yesterday. So VRX. Let's go look at VRX. I'll also include Carvana, which I found out today was publicly traded, and then Acacia Technologies. And then we're also just kind of glance over Home Depot. Sharon says, sorry, I got to go. No worries, Sharon. Have a good one. You rock. And then we can look at PayPal and some of the other swing trades that we're in. Macy's, Lumber Liquidators. Yep. Excellent. Fantastic. So let's go look at MIK really quick, Michaels. And this is the daily chart on Michaels. I drew this in the other day. It actually doesn't look too bad. So this one will end up becoming potentially a swing trade sometime next week. So again, as far as the retail sector goes, it's still a little bit on the weaker side. But here's the XRT. XRT is the retail ETF, and check out this really strong support that we traded to. So I'm not saying that we can't bounce. We can't break that support, but look at the power of that support. So we're here. If we break down, that'd be a very interesting pattern on the daily chart that we're breaking. But we could easily bounce here. So a lot of retail I'm keeping my eyes on as potentially a little bit more bullish overall. So Macy's, right? We're in the swing trade on Macy's, and it did literally retest just like we wanted to. Well, I say wanted to. I would prefer if we just keep going down, but it did retest today. And we'll see if it starts rolling over. Simple as that. If it doesn't, I don't want to lose on this trade. We lowered the stops, so we're definitely going to lose an ARB. I would like to make a little bit of a gain on Macy's if at all possible. So we'll give that one a few more days. But again, with XRT, the retail ETF, being there, right, being on support, if it bounces, bullish. If it doesn't, bearish. So since it's there and Macy's is a retail stock, we could anticipate a potential bounce coming in. So we'll give Macy's just a few more days. All right, PCAR, this is the one my buddy Mark wanted to look at. And he did get stopped out of a trade that he was in for a very small loss, which was good news. Always good to lose small. Here's the weekly chart. Just checking this one out. I don't look at this stock very often, so I'm trying to see. Yeah, we are at a good support. You're correct. So this is support from over here in the 2007 high. So really, we're just kind of been chopping around. This trade looks like bullish to neutral, but it's very choppy. Choppy just means like there's no, I mean, it just, yum, 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 it just chops around. I really kind of think a pullback to 57 would be what this stock needs. 57, 58, PCAR, PACCAR. What is this stock? What does this do? Heavy machinery vehicles. Okay. 58 daily chart. So I'm gonna turn the candlesticks on. Look at the daily chart. I don't have any trade on this one right now. I would say for anyone who is looking at playing this, it is at a short-term support. So we're here, and you got a nice little high wave bullish candle yesterday. So if we're going to bounce, for whoever requested PCR, this is probably where I would. Mark says they make Kenworth, Volvo, Peterbilt heavy trucks. Gotcha. So this support area, pretty decent if it's going to bounce. This is the location. Otherwise, on a longer term scale, if I was looking at buying shares, I'd want to pull back that 58 support. Cool deal. That's PCR. Now, the good old Tesla. Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, is on a tear right now. So the previous all-time high, 384.25. Today, 385. So we made a new all-time high on Tesla today. Remember, this is a stock that was doing different things than the overall NASDAQ did. And so I'm out of Tesla. It moved really quick, a lot faster than I thought it would. It hit my 2017 target already. So looking at it on a weekly chart, I mean, it's such a good trend. It's such a good trend. It's a buy the dip for sure when and if it happens. This is a pennant pattern. So we have been forming a pennant pattern on Tesla. Oh man, I got to talk about First Solar. Do you guys play First Solar from yesterday? It was so pretty today. So here's Tesla, nice little breakout, breaking out of that stair step pennant. It is a retest gap, right? White candle gapping up. So keep your eyes on Tesla to possibly retest or pull back or bounce, but the edge still looks bullish to me. I don't have any short setup on Tesla at all for the time being. The biggest question / concern is where do we get in, right? And here's the hourly chart. So if you're looking at playing Tesla, again, it did retest this morning, but tomorrow for a day trade, I'll be looking to see if it pulls back to 378. Boop, boop. But for a swing trade, you can also look for a pullback to that 378-ish price range and buy the dip from there. Cool. All right, so that's Tesla. Niels has a few put sales. A lot of other traders in Slack talk about their longer-term call options. Mark, are you still in this one too? Some traders got some shares, bull put spreads. I mean, it's just all across the board. A lot of different traders got some stuff. Mark says no. So yeah, anyway, that's Tesla looking for a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, and then probably a continuation. Looking strong, folks. Looking strong. MYO. So this is a healthcare. MYO. Pulling back big time. Brand new. So this is brand new. Exponent. So we don't have the 10 yet. Here's the hourly chart. MYO. It's almost like, it looks like Myomo. What is Myomo? Myomo? Miyamo? You know, we do have a lot of trades right now, but I do like that little setup right there. Just a little boop, pop above 15. Might watch that tomorrow to see if that happens, but really it is pulling back. It did have a retest gap. It's brand new, but that IPO, I think that was an easy buy signal, in my opinion, right? Pretty easy buy signal. Just 4 days of an IPO. First 3 days looks like this, and then this candle comes in, and you got a nice little gap. That would have been good for about $3 or $4, you know, really quickly. But anyway, let this one pull back and see if we can at some point buy the dip. Let's put this one on the list for Friday. This is a healthcare stock, Finance Friday. Those are all kind of similar. We'll just kind of keep an eye on this one. Keep tabs. Okay, EXEL, Excelsius. So I forget who brought this one up, but you had, I think it was Justin. Looks like some type of wave 3. Boop, boop, boop. Had a retest gap. Let me see here on a weekly chart. Looks good. Nice looking trend, right? So we're trying to just figure out where the pullback happens, I guess, realistically. And you got a nice old resistance, new support right around 23. So it's probably where I think we get excited about it. I think it's worth waiting for. What we need is we really need to figure out the culmination of some of these other swing trades before we start placing more, or at least taking some off the list or exiting out of some. So EXL looks good. Let's put down the list for Monday. EXEL. Got it. Pullback by the dip. All right, next on the list is TIP. What is this? TIP, iShares Tips Bond ETF. Ooh, a bond ETF. I did not know about this one. Learned 2 new things today. I do like this old resistance, new support though. Check that out. Boo. That was real pretty. Very nice resistance. Beautiful buying location. Look at that one white soldier candle right there. That was very nice. Looks bullish to neutral to me, right? We're kind of trading sideways right now. And I say right now, I mean for the last few years. This is a monthly chart. We've been trading sideways on TIP. Let's hop in here to the daily. And the daily chart, yeah, pretty sideways. I do like today's candle. Doesn't look bad. Here's your long-term moving averages. And long-term moving averages, we're below them for now, but they are going pretty sideways. And again, here's your weekly. So, you know, I actually like this one for a spread. Let's see if there's any premiums in there. And then if there are, we could start considering that to be an official trade today or tomorrow. Man, I am hungry. All right, let's hop over to TIP. Come on. Let's go. Did it go there? No, I don't think it did there. Let's try that again. All right. Okay, Yahoo Finance. July, probably no premiums at all, I would imagine. No real premiums for July. I was going to look at August anyway. August. Wow, I don't have a lot of things to choose from here. 140 and 120, 114 and 112. Well, I guess we won't be doing a spread on it. Looks nice though. So if you do have some shares, put sale, bull put spread, or share ownership and covered calls, looks like the way to approach. Ticker symbol TIP. Here is SM, and SM we set up yesterday. So we had a swing trade set up on this one yesterday. I'm okay leaving this trade open. It was a new black crow yesterday, and we did retest today. We just didn't quite get to 1478. This will be an aggressive trade, so I won't keep it open forever. Here's your exponential moving averages on the daily chart. All right, so we haven't triggered. Yeah, let's leave it open a little bit longer. It's an aggressive trade if it starts running tomorrow or Friday, tomorrow. I'll say tomorrow or Friday. If it starts running tomorrow and or Monday, Tuesday, and we miss it, then we'll cancel, look for something else. But that's pretty much SM. DCTH. This is a real cheap stock, but it has a lot of volume. And I mean a lot of volume. 195 million. What is going on with this thing? Like you could have bought this gap back on the 19th of May as an absolute zero with shares. It was 9 cents. You could have done your R at 9 cents. Like, all right, worst case scenario goes to zero. That would have been a really good trade too. About 3 or 4, maybe 5 R's. Interesting stock. Hourly chart doesn't look that bullish. This candle right here looks a little bearish to me. DCTA. So let's look at it again tomorrow. That's just an interesting looking chart, I guess. The price, volume. It had to have a reverse split, right? Yeah, I'll say there it is. There's the reverse split right there. Back in July. Well, hey, we'll see. Maybe we just ride it for a quick dollar or two. I say dollar, R or something. Okay, cool. Next, NK. So these are some of the ones I was looking at yesterday. Came up on a scanner. See, my brain sees this as Tank West. That's how my brain sees those words. So I look at it, I go, wait, there's the T is way after the N. Not Tank West. Here's the weekly chart. A lot of volume coming in recently. So this is a little bit of, what kind of stock is this? This is a newer company. I know another biotherapeutic healthcare company. Woo. Some good volume. Looks kind of like a wave 3. I really like this triangle breakout down here. That was pretty. Yeah, let's keep watching this one too. Looks good. Maybe I should do the scanners more often. NK, SUN, and then some of the airlines. So Sunoco, SUN, long-term moving averages. So we were talking about energies yesterday. This is a petroleum product, so it's not really an oil refinery per se, but looks bullish to neutral. Kind of like a wedge-ish pattern, kind of coming down, something like this a little bit, something like that. So we'll see if it breaks out or what it ends up doing. But SUN, that's what I have at present. Bull put spread or put sales or owning shares. Mark says refinery of NASCAR fuel, right? Believe so. Believe so. Tim says, yep. So yeah, it looks pretty good. If this thing starts breaking above 31.50, that's kind of the resistance on this guy. That is a pretty nice one. So here's that resistance I'm just talking about. So we break above there. It looks kind of strong. You got a good gap back here. And you got this little pattern. So it looks on the verge of a breakout for anyone interested in trading it. All right, cool. So now we go into the airlines. Southwest Airlines made a new all-time high today, and it will continue to do so. Southwest, nice, strong, bullish trend. Target for me, 65.76 for anyone who's in shares or longer-term calls. Trying to see here. I mean, really, the pullback was today. That's the challenge with this one. So you'll notice white candle gapping up. Here's that retest, that resistance right there, gapped up, and we're probably pulling back. Now, again, this is an all-time high breakout. All-time high breakouts have been deplorable. But really, for anyone trading Southwest Airlines, you probably are already in. So you probably got in here somewhere with a stop, either here or here. Just depends on how aggressive you're playing it. But honestly, the trend looks good, looks bullish. One candle can change everything, though. Of that, we are sure. But your exponential moving averages, right? The trend looks strong. Fred says, time to add some at-the-money bull put spreads. All righty. That's Fred's plan. Had a good pullback into the 50. What a brilliant, again, anyone who has that plan to buy off the 50 who trades Southwest. Look at those two beautiful buying opportunities. There's actually 3. Now, I can show you 3 that worked and 1 that didn't. And that's what's awesome, right, folks? Every strategy works, just not all the time, right? Everything works, just not all the time. So there's bounce 1, 2, 3. And here's the time that it failed. Boop, right there. Now, really, if we're being real scientific, you also got a good bounce there and a good bounce there. So that's actually 5 bounces and 1 that didn't work. Good move on Southwest. Anyway, looks good to go higher. I like the trends. Most traders are probably in today. If not, let that dip come back. Let me just look at this weekly. Yeah, weekly looks like a pennant pattern breakout. It is a retest on a weekly chart. So buy the retest. Here was kind of the last one right there where it broke out of the all-time high. And you can see the trade sideways for 3 weeks. So it could break out, trade sideways for 3 weeks, continue. Southwest looks good. Next, American Airlines. American Airlines. Here's the weekly charts, daily chart. So the daily chart had a random gap today on airlines, white candle gapping up. So this was a retest gap, and we definitely have retested. It looks like an okay gap though. I'm just looking at it. It didn't close the gap entirely. So again, looking at the weekly chart, my 2017 target on American Airlines is 55.86. You broke above that $47 resistance, pretty strong resistance. I don't know what that means. 55.86 monthly chart. Monthly candle looks good. Nice bullish candle last month. Ray says Kutar trying to buy 10% of the company. Like the country? The company. Company. Okay, trying to buy 10%. Gotcha. The airlines. Noted. So that's what the gap up was today. It looks like a good gap. The gap didn't entirely fill. My thought is, with this little resistance right there, I like this gap. I like the bullish trend. I like this pullback. I think this gap is kind of like a, hey, let's see. So if we break above the high of today's candle on American Airlines, I think it continues higher. Plus, if they're getting some cash, buying out some pieces of the company. Buffett Airlines stake gained $76 million on the bid. The unsolicited approach to buy 10% stake in American Airlines. Few investors were poised as well as Warren Buffett. Well, he's been in some shares. So this has been a good buy low, sell high. American Airlines has. Here's Delta. So here's a little DAL, and Delta slowly trekking up as well, banging its head against a real big resistance. Check this out, though. This is something that needs to be seen on Delta. This is the weekly chart. And what I see on Delta is a distribution phase with slight higher lows. Like we've slowly been getting up over time. Guys, I don't really fly Delta that much. I'm more of a Southwest guy. But on a monthly chart, we've broken out. If the next 2 weeks we close up here, this is a big deal. This is a big candle closing with all this resistance. Delta could be a really big breakout. Let's see if it does, but it could be brewing. Again, we've been trading up in here for a while, and not much is stopping Delta if we start breaking higher. That would be a good stock you'd probably want to do some investigating on. It also pays dividends. We've played Delta before. Longer term. Here's your pennant pattern right there. So, and again, you got a good little gap. So keep this one on your watch lists. It probably would be a longer term trade if you're looking at taking a stock and adding something to a portfolio, IRA, 401k, whatever. Delta starts breaking out. Could be it. Okay, good to know. Next on the list, Hawaiian Airlines. And this is the daily chart. Very gappy recently. Very gappy. Here's the weekly time frame. I think you guys all know where I'm looking to buying Hawaiian Airlines by now. I want it to come down to 42.91. Let's call it 43. That's where I would like to buy it. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Not sure. But that's where I would like it. Here's the daily chart, and daily chart had a nice retest gap. So something to keep in mind on Hawaiian Airlines for anyone trading that stock is we have been down here before and bounced. And this is a weird looking candle pattern. I agree. Could be a flag. So if we break lower, target is the 100. This could be the retest of this black candle gapping down. This could be the retest and we roll over. Or again, we could bounce down here. Unfortunately, I don't know which one's going to happen on Hawaiian Airlines, but for me, I'm waiting on this one personally. This stock has had huge percentage growth in the stock price over the last 3 years. This is it on a monthly time frame. So again, you can see it just traded sideways and then broke out big time. So farther this one pulls back, the better. I think a lot of investors were going to go bearish on this if it starts taking out that double top. And I think those bears are going to get trapped. Now, could Hawaiian Airlines do this? Double top and just woo. Definitely possible. Doubt it, but possible. If that occurred, then some of the other, like Alaskan Airlines, also would probably do the same thing, more than likely. Here's UAL, United, and with as much negative news as United fell in over the last 2 months, this is also breaking out. This is also a monthly chart. So last month on United, we did break above this all-time high, and we closed above all those wicks on a monthly chart. So here on a daily time frame, right, it looks like we're pulling back some. So this is a good resistance. I mean, check out this resistance on United, the $76 price range. So really, it looks like a lot of airlines are starting to get a good bid to possibly go higher. If we close above 79.44 on United, we're going to continue higher, in my personal opinion. $76, really good old resistance, new support. If it breaks 76, which it definitely can, I'd like to see it probably pull back to the 200 simple moving average, this red line, and then that would be the buying opportunity there on United. Okay, cool. Next on the list, we got Alaska and then JetBlue. So here's Alaska Airlines, and this one did have a very nice bounce off the 200 simple moving average. It's battling its 100 simple moving average right now. Had a trader post in Slack, I think somewhere, that this looks like an inverted head and shoulders pattern. And I agree. It does. It's an ugly one, but those are good. Sometimes the uglier the pattern is, the better. But that was a great retest. Good jolly gee whiz. Again, this is on the daily chart. But that retest right there, zooming in, I'll zoom in a little bit more. Almost a tweezer bottom, morning star. This is the buying candle right there, the 19th of May. That was it. That said, please buy me and set your stops. So we break out, we close above this 100 on Alaska. Looks bullish. All right, JetBlue. JetBlue. So JetBlue is failing this resistance at the present moment in time. Here's the weekly chart. So it still is, for the most part, trading sideways at that resistance line. I had an insight on this. It does look a little head and shoulders type. It's ugly, real ugly. So I'm watching for JetBlue. As much as I don't want it to do this, just because I don't want something to happen doesn't mean it's going to, especially in the stock market. I want to be able to eat chocolate pretty much every day for the rest of my life by the pound and not gain a weight, but it's just doesn't work that way. So JetBlue, if it takes out this support, I'd look for a bearish move back into 21. So we could trade down to 21 and then we could bounce again. That's entirely plausible. But we start taking out that support really right at 22 on JetBlue. No, not 22, 22, 25. For those traders who do have shares, if you have enough to do a covered call and you want to be in shares longer, you could consider covered call up here as well. JetBlue doesn't pay dividends, but has a good little, what would you call it? Good little trend right here. And again, this would be a nice little high. That's why I'd say if it pulls back down to here, I think it's viable, something like that. Eventually, it's actually not a bad chart. Not a bad chart. If at some point it ever pulled down to the 200, very viable from there. But anyway, not bad. Not bad. Next, we got Spirit, and then we got General Motors. So here's Spirit Airlines. And Spirit Airlines, a few traders made $1 or $2 on this one from this bounce from 50 to 60. I mean, can't ask for better than a 20% return in 2 or 3 months. That was a great move. That was from stock too. So if it trades back down to 50, for those traders looking at trading Spirit Airlines again, ticker symbol SAVE, 50, in my opinion, would be a pretty good buy low, sell high. Next on the list, General Motors. So General Motors, Yawn, trading sideways. This is the monthly chart. Really has not been doing very much at all. Big resistance here at 38.39. That's been holding the stock down. This is the weekly chart, sideways as can be. Here's the daily chart, sideways as can be. Oh boy. If at some point this thing breaks out, I would say 35 is really what it needs to close above. Let me kind of draw that pivot price in here. Something like that. Break above there, retest, and a trade up higher would probably be what I would personally look for on General Motors, but it it's sideways. It's General Motors, you know. So a break above 35, honestly, be kind of like a buy the dip, buy the retest. Looks nice overall. All right, UPS and then FedEx. So UPS, what can Brown do for you? Long-term moving averages. Beautiful bounce down here off these long terms. Again, this is a weekly chart. Nice bounce off the weekly. Here's the daily. Really what it looks like, in my opinion, is this channel looking thing that it has formed. Kind of looks like we broke out and we're retesting it. So now my buddy George got a lot of trades on this one. I mean, really, it looks like it broke out and it looks like it's pulling back. So buy the dip if you're playing UPS. FedEx is looking real strong. I don't have any other shorter term trade analysis on UPS. I know, unfortunately, most investing and trading takes forever to make some money unless you're day trading it. But UPS looking nice. I got to put First Solar on this list. Guys, First Solar was the gap of the day for me. Here's First Solar, so we're going to go look at that. So FedEx is real powerful. Had earnings. Brandon Mayfield, congrats, man, for having a really good bull put spread on FedEx. And he said that one expired worthless. Good resistance here on FedEx. Here's the resistance. We broke out of that with a gap. It was a retest gap. We did retest. We retested again. Today's candle on FedEx is an inside candle. Here's what the weekly chart looks like on that. And FedEx, my friends, that's a beautiful, beautiful distribution. And don't be afraid for this one to continue higher as well. FedEx at $211 a share. Man, there's so much money being made in the stock market every few years. It's just unbelievable. I have no position in FedEx at all, but I don't see why I can't continue higher. Long term, yes. Short term, what I like to see, I mean, a pull back to 200. That would be great. Yeah, if you could pull back to 200, that'd be fantastic. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Not anytime soon, but if it does, it'd be a good buying opportunity. The longer this trades sideways, though, this candle is going to be a very important candle. The candle that came in yesterday on earnings. A lot of volume, big bullish candle. It's an inside candle right now. Break above, be bullish, or break below, be a little bit more bearish than bullish. Okay, so there's FedEx. Next on the list, Caterpillar, and then VRX. So here's Caterpillar. And Joel earlier today was looking at Caterpillar for a iron condor. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart is pulling back. The target that I got is a 111.72 for 2017 based on some fibs. I mean, realistically, if we look at the weekly, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row of up moves, and this is a pullback. I'd say look to buy off the 50. Right? Is that going to work? No idea. It worked once. It may or may not work again. At that point, I don't know. But for anyone who's looking at trading Caterpillar, now remember, keep in mind, you don't have to trade everything. Whatever strikes your fancy, whatever you like, whatever you've been focusing on, whatever you've been planning. But here's your old, I mean, that's just a beautiful, beautiful retest right there. I'm upset that I didn't buy Caterpillar on that day. That would have been the time to buy it. right at 100, up $3.84 right now. So I'd say Caterpillar, buy the dip off the 50. Trend is bullish. And Joel, if there is any Iron Condor premium for August, let me know. I think that's the one you were kind of looking at. Okay. Well, I guess we could go look at Cat actually and just see if there is some premium. So regular August, which would be over earnings. And you got to get it really far away. So 115, 120. You could sell for 52 cents and you could buy for, let's just say 25. So let's say 25 cents of risk on $5 is rough, but then down here on the bull put spread side, you probably want to do a 95, 90. 95, you could sell for sorry, I lost my spot. 120, and you could buy the 90 for 60. That's not bad. 60 cents on a $5 plus 25 cents is 80 cents. And it's over earnings. 115, 120, 95, 90. Iron Condor for August pays about 85 cents of premium. Not bad. So Joel, if you're interested in that, that's kind of how I would approach it. If you're looking at doing a Condor, those are probably, just in my opinion, that's the area that I would look to get into. All right, right on. Next on the list is VRX, and I was looking at, believe it or not, actually trading VRX bullish after today, but it did trade right into the 200, and Charles pointed that out to me, let me know that 200 is right there. So I had some puts on VRX, absolute zero, 1R of risk. Looks like I'm gonna lose for sure. This gap kind of started a few days ago, and then you closed above this double bottom. So boom, boom, there's the double bottom. So these are July, so I'm gonna have some negative carry for July. I actually have a few positions interesting going over into July, so I'm interested to see what July is gonna look like. But VRX right to the 200. It did break out with good volume today, and it all started with this bullish gap and go right there. So with that being the case, let's continue to keep our eyes on VRX to see if it pulls back, retests, or breaks out of that 200 simple. It's a very volatile stock, and it's pretty fun to trade. Bearish is usually how I like to trade it, but it just hasn't been very bearish recently. Yeah, so we'll kind of keep an eye on VRX from time to time. Carvana, I did not know that this was publicly traded until today. And I will admit I missed this one badly. Type in a 2 if you can see an easy trade setup on Carvana. How did I miss that? I don't know. Got to apologize, though, because that is free money. Look at that double bottom. Got a retest gap right there. There's the neckline. There's the retest of the neckline. Good grief. Stop would have been there. Entry would have been there all day. All day, that's 3 R's. I like this company, Carvana. Big deal. I haven't used them, actually, but I also don't buy a lot of cars. I buy a lot of cars, and I haven't bought a car in like 5 years. For instance, I've never seen that pattern before. Yeah, it's a rare one for sure. That daily chart, guys, that is Carvana. Put it on your list. We're going to be looking at this one from now on. I mean, it's doubled. It has doubled in value. Here's the hourly charts. I'm going to buy the dip, but bottom line is I got to track this one for a little bit, right? It broke out really yesterday. No, I'm sorry, not yesterday. Today. It broke out today. I'm not in, but Carvana could be a stock that I put some money into longer term at some point. I mean, It's just a cool new online. So you buy cars online. That's what you do. They said, so here's Carvana, Carvana.com. You can buy used cars online, trade in, you can finance. And they have one of these in Nashville. See, there's like a car vending machine kind of thing. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, select price range. They only do under 35. That's kind of cool. Pick your payment. I dig it. I like it. Carvana. Okay. I don't have a trade on it yet, but we missed it. That's that simple. Acacia Technologies. So we're looking at this one earlier today. Java was looking at this one. Here's the weekly chart, and Acacia looks like it's breaking down some solid support too. So this thing had a really quick run up and is really quickly running back down. Here's the day. This is the daily chart. It broke support. We were looking at it. I was really debating on something like this with a stop right there. Something like that. That's what I was keeping an eye on for Acacia Technologies. Either limit buy puts or short some shares. So let me start planning that one, and we're gonna look at it tomorrow and see if this becomes a new official swing trade, either with shares or options. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll put it on the list again for tomorrow. And I'd like to see a pullback. I mean, we really did pull back today. Today was kind of the retest. So keep your eyes on Acacia. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if tomorrow morning we gap below here, yes, please, that'll be the time to short it. So Friday morning, ACIA. Okay, got it. Next on the list, we got Home Depot. And Home Depot, as you guys know from the Weekly Options newsletter, they had a lawsuit against them. Perfect timing, Newsom. Going to lose a real quick R on Home Depot. So apparently they're 4x4 boards, or more like 3.5 by 3.5s. And so they have a lawsuit against them, which obviously doesn't bode well for any kind of bullish trade, at least not at this exact moment in time. Here's the weekly chart, and again, we definitely are pulling back. So I got the pullback right. I figured that was going to happen, but it's pulling back pretty solidly. So on Home Depot, I guess we'll probably one more day. We'll likely get stopped out tomorrow if we are going to. Otherwise, if you haven't gotten stopped out on Home Depot, which I don't believe you have, then we can probably look to exit this trade for a small loss. It's getting real close getting stopped out, but it hasn't happened yet. Frivolous suit, says Mark. Yeah, it's weird, but right, it says no board measures. What is it called? Steven says strange because a 2x4 has never been 2 inches. For instance, what a ridiculous lawsuit. 2x4s always measure 1.5 by 3.5 inches. Again, it's it's weird. Yes, exactly. It's odd that it's occurring. It's dumb, but what are you gonna do? So Home Depot, if we don't get stopped out tomorrow for an R loss, let's just try to lose small on this one. Obviously, we can see the trade's not working unless it just gaps up huge tomorrow, and kind of go from there. Here's PayPal, PYPL, and we did get triggered into PayPal today. So we set that one up yesterday, and we got triggered in today. So PayPal, maybe this trade will work. That'll be fun if it does. Really, the hard part is finding out the exact target, but based on a fib that I did earlier, 55.86 would be a really good spot to sell this trade. That'd be more than 2R. That'd also be above the previous all-time high. So for the PayPal trade, we'll see how quickly this thing moves. I'll set it up for 55.88 for right now. And if it continues to look and everything shapes out well, then PayPal 55.88, that'll be the target. Macy's, I looked at Macy's, right? Yeah, I looked at Macy's. Okay, Macy's was saying Lumber Liquidator, ticker symbol LL. We got this trade set up, ready to go. 2690 by 2435. So here's the weekly chart on Lumber Liquidators, and it's a new white soldier off the 10. So really all I'm trying to do is just buy this off the 10. I still kind of feel like Lumber Liquidators is in the verge or on the verge of breaking out. They had a big lawsuit and their stocks plummeted and then became an accumulation phase. And we've talked about Lumber Liquidators a lot. So we'll just have to see what happens. So that's Lumber Liquidators. And then First Solar. So yesterday, you guys were in Energy Wednesday. We were talking about First Solar. And I said that it's a very, very small. I was like, I really don't think it's going to happen at all. But I was looking for and planning for that, for a gap of some kind on First Solar, and it did gap this morning. Look at this retest on the 5-minute chart. This thing is what dreams are made out of right there. Look at that. So white candle, gapping up, retest gap, and then this candle comes in, boom, shakalaka. First Solar. So we were talking about that one yesterday, and again, just a stock that we follow often. I didn't know it was going to happen, but you can always, I mean, this was really literally textbook, picture perfect, phenomenal example of how we as real life traders can plan a day in advance for a day trade. You just simply create if-then scenarios, and it takes practice, takes experience. But Energy Wednesday, we always look at First Solar, and it had a great little move, good bullish gain, good run. Still got the July $40 calls on it. Those are absolute zeros. So they're looking better today than they looked 3 days ago. That's for sure. So maybe those will go in the money, and I can make more. I can make a little bit. I can sell for more than I bought for. That's going to be my thoughts on First Solar. All right, boys and girls. TRCO, going to leave that open until tomorrow, but we probably cancel it. I don't think that's going to fill. TRCO, we got a 39.87 by 37.42 limit buy. We looked at SM. SM also did not trigger. Lumber Liquidators is not triggered. PayPal, HDS. So here's HDS, and HDS coming right back to break even. So that 10 is going to be a pretty good measure. Now, the interesting thing is there's some good volume on this yesterday. We did lose on Yelp. So if I lose on Yelp, I want to take my gain on this one. So I'm going to watch for this really to break out, hopefully, of this pennant pattern bullish. And if it does, then I'll hold on to it. But if it doesn't, and we can get out for a small gain and break even. Now, this was a bill paying trade. If you want to be in this one longer term, I totally get it. Here's the weekly chart, and here's the long-term moving averages, and we're just playing the bounce off of the 200 on the weekly time frame. That's really it. So that's HDS. Tomorrow is Finance Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then after that, I will pack up, email you guys the recording, and head out to Orlando to see Dean Chant, aka the Chancellor. He's having his birthday weekend, 40th birthday this weekend, and I'm driving all the way down to Orlando just to hang out with him. So it'll be a fun time. What do you guys want to look at tomorrow? Steven says, dang, old man Dean. Old man Dean. FAS on the list for sure. Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, Golden Entertainment, I think that is. Macy's again. We're probably going to end up canceling TRCO. SM, WPRT, Smooth Jazz. GILD had a really nice pop today. MYO, since it's a healthcare, why not? DCTH, NK, ACIA, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. We can look at Bank of America, Bank of the Ozarks, Morgan Stanley. Anything else tomorrow? While you guys are typing those in, we can kind of go peruse the markets really quick as well. Here's Netflix. That's a weekly chart, and here's the daily chart. So Netflix, It's I think Fred and a few other traders were watching this one real close. That pennant pattern has held strong. Look at that pennant pattern. So Dean has a put sale expiring this Friday. I think Kevin has some bull put spreads. I'm excited for this thing to break higher. Doesn't mean that it will, but here's the hourly chart, and looks good. So I probably should change the color of these. How do I do that? Make that blue. So this was the pennant pattern that I drew, I think, on Monday. So keep an eye out for that to break out. I mean, realistically, you could probably get pretty aggressive with that trade. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow for sure. Tim wants to look at AMBA. Sure, we can do that right now. AMBA, Netflix, AMBA. So we've been keeping an eye on this one recently. This is a buy low, sell high kind of approach. And the best way to clearly see that is on a weekly chart, right? We've been down here before. This candle so far is 4 cents away from being a perfect doji on a weekly chart, which just simply means very indecisive. So at this level, you know, we've played AMBA a few times trying to figure out exactly how to play it. But if it double bottoms, like a small double bottom like this, that could be a possibility, right? Close above that wick of the candle that came in on Monday. I know Brad has also done a few put sales on AMBA, and I think they've all worked for you too, Brad. So let's go look at July, see if we can do, that must be over earnings. Doesn't seem so. A 46, well, there's a 46.50 and a 45. So a 45 July put sale brings in 55 cents. For anyone that might be interested in owning shares down here, you could do some put sales if that's up your alley, if that's the kind of Kool-Aid that you like. Because yeah, I thought earnings was just a few days ago. So July and or August, you're paying some pretty healthy premiums, or you're receiving some pretty healthy premiums, I should say. If you want to own shares, if you don't, I would not consider doing a put sale, but it is a buy low, sell high. It did have a bearish gap and go. I would consider that more myself. However, I got this 3D printing, which I could technically just buy to close now for a gain. But it was a $17 July put sale. We got into that one a week and a half ago or so. Pretty much when that hammer candle formed. So I only have the ability right now to do one at a time until I can get rid of some of these other positions that we talked about yesterday. BP, ExxonMobil, CF, FCX, Budweiser at some point would be nice. So anyway, that's AMBA, and that's 3D printing. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. You are amazing people. Thank you for helping us with our mission to enrich lives. Tim says, best seafood and PC is Hunt's. You will love me. Panama City. Yeah, man. Hunt's. We went to the Red Bar in Grayton Beach yesterday, and that was a good time. So Hunt's, see if I can make that happen. Might also hop over to Half Baked at some point tomorrow, get me some oysters. Maybe I'll do that tonight. Either way, I'm pumped. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are amazing. Thanks so much again for helping us to enrich lives. You're amazing. And I will see you tomorrow. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.